Welcome to the Newsfeed NRV podcast. I'm Andrew Honaker. I'm here with Kaylee Watson and Aaliyah Kinsler. Today we're looking at the return of physical media, from vinyl records and printed photos, and why digital-first world more people are moving back towards owning their own content. Streaming and iCloud storage dominate how we consume media today, but physical media is starting to make its comeback. Let's start with talking about DVD and Blu-ray coming back into style.
I know at least my parents still collect a bunch of DVDs. I know, at least for me growing up as a kid, we would always have them in the car. Did you guys have those, like the little TVs that would sit in the back of like the headrest?
I had like a built-in one in our minivan. So yeah, living in style. But I actually have the opposite. My parents have gotten rid of like a ton of our DVDs because we don't need them because of streaming. But I've been like burning like movies and everything that like I want to keep onto DVD so we can still have them. So that's been something I've been working on. But
Yeah, I still have a bunch, or like my parents do, because they like to own stuff rather than streaming, because streaming services can just like get rid of it at any point. So if they have the movie, it feels like they own it. So like they kind of just keep it. But yeah, I had a TV in the van. I still have the van now. So I still have DVDs in the car just if I'm going on a trip or something, and I'll pop them in and watch something.
No, that's awesome. I feel like streaming services also are super expensive. I feel like they keep raising the prices because I pay for my own Netflix and Hulu and stuff, and I feel like every month it's just like, oh, wow, I got like $1 more or $5 more or something like that.
and they add more ads every time
Yeah.
too. Especially Hulu, I think is a really bad one. I'll be watching something like regular show where it's like 15 minutes long and there are like 4 different ads in it. It's getting bad.
It
Yeah.
feels kind of just like cable TV at that point,
Yeah, like especially for sports, you have to have every single service. So it's like hundreds of dollars every month just to have all of them. And if you don't have all of them, then you're not getting everything. So people just owning their own stuff and like they feel like they own it rather than they have to go buy a service for it. And also like film cameras are gaining more popularity. Especially now in the past like 5 to 10 years, like they've come back and I see people with them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the radio station WVT, we just had our like end of year. We call it Goth Prom. So everyone dresses up, like in goth, and we listen to music. But yeah, for the past at least 2 years, we've bought at least like 4 like disposable film cameras, and we'll just hand them out to people when we get them back, and they always just look so sweet. Because also you don't know what it looks like until afterwards. So it's always a little bit of an excitement to it.
I feel like that's kind of the charm of it too, It's like you don't know what it's going to look like and you have to wait and find out. So it's more so like real and in the moment rather than posed or fake, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen on like Instagram or something, but there's a guy that sends people like when they're going on vacation, he'll give them a film camera and make them like ask them to film their whole vacation and then come back and then he makes it into like videos. So I just see people with film cameras on like vacation because you don't have to look at it afterwards. You just take a bunch of pictures and then after you're done completely, you have all the film from it.
Then we also get them developed. You also get the physical photocopies back as well. And I know, at least when I've used disposable cameras, that I still have like all of those photos and albums and stuff. And it's always so nice to like look back at them.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the other women who works at John's before our interview as well, and we were talking about this a little bit. And I was also saying that genuinely some of my like favorite pictures have been taken on film cameras. Again, I think it's just like the charm, and then also just like the physical aspect to it. Just adds really something that I feel like makes that moment feel even more real. But I mean, not saying digital cameras aren't fantastic, but.
But I also think it's a connection thing. My dad, because he went to art school, he gave me his old Canon AE1 film camera and taught me how to like shoot like real like film cameras, and like that's like a memory like I know like I'll never forget, and like something like I'll always know how to do, and like I cherish that, and I feel like that's a big part of like physical media as well, as like it also just brings people together.
Yeah, I also I helped out with a music video set this past weekend, and I was doing behind the scene photos. And one of the questions that they asked me before, like when we were prepping for this, I was like, "What cameras do you have? Do you have digital and like physical too?" And I was like, "Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's a film camera I could use." So I did a little bit of both for them as well, and that was something they were wanting too, which I thought was just really fun.
Yeah, and to get a better understanding of this, we spoke with John from John's Cameras and Records in downtown Blacksburg as someone who has seen this change firsthand.
It really took off about 10 years ago with vinyl records. I never bought 10 records in my life. I mean, I never bought records. My son said, "Hey, Dad, why don't we get into vinyl records?" So I said, "Sure, why not?" I bought 100 of them from a friend of mine and put them out, sold, bought 500 from another person that had them. I bought 3,000 from a guy that had some in Blacksburg. He said, "I want to sell my collection. I'm tired of moving them." Boy, that was the best collection I ever bought. So it started from there into vinyl records about 10 or 12 years ago. And it's building. We're about 50-50 now with vinyl records. You know, everything moves up from the cameras. We're back to analog cameras, film cameras. We're even building dark rooms upstairs from where we're at right now so you can process your own film. And I'm even bringing back Gentry Studio. See, this is something that you got to realize. When you take a picture today, you know, it's in the clouds. You know, where's your picture? You look at your grandfather's picture, an old sepia tone picture, say, boy, that's a good picture. You know, it's close to 100 years old. And you look at your parents' picture, they're sort of a little red. They've faded, gone away. But you look at your pictures, in the clouds, you'll never see it. So we are trying to bring back more archival prints. I print pictures. Everyone should take a picture of their family, themselves, on a pigmented ink print. One picture, black and white or a silver print, whatever, and just have a good picture. Then you'll have a picture in 100 years. But that's not happening. We'd bring it back though. We are one at a time.
Hearing that from someone who works with this every day really shows that this shift just isn't theoretical, it's actually happening at the consumer level. He talked to us about how the younger generation is making this shift, not just the older generation. How do y'all feel about that as us being some of the younger generation?
You know, I love it. I have my own collection of physical media. I have a collection of vinyls, CDs, and even like video games too. I like having the physical copies of them because I feel like everything now is so just up in the cloud, I suppose, for a general term. But it feels nice to actually like see like what I have and display it and show it off as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have been kind of getting a collection, especially of cassette tapes. I go to a lot of concerts, and a lot of bands now will sell not only vinyl but cassettes as well, and they're just a lot easier to like carry and everything. From out of shows, just put it right in your pocket versus a record. You can't really put that in your pocket. But yeah, I have like a good collection now, and yeah, it's great to see them. And I also got it's a combination like record, cassette, and radio. A little while ago, so now I have the means to actually, play them when I want to.
Yeah, personally, I don't have any records or cassettes, but I've always gone into, like, with my siblings into these, like, thrift shops and stuff and looked for records, especially, like, the older ones, like, older music. It's kind of, like, fun to go look for them, and they both have record players, and they collect them all the time. So, yeah, the younger generation is definitely, like, making this shift. I think the older generation is kind of still there, and they might be making the shift the other way, going more digital, but the younger generation is, like, bringing that back. And then, like, physical photos is something that I think all the generations kind of want because they mean a little more than just putting something in the cloud, especially, like, family photos. I feel like they have more weight if they're in, like, a picture frame rather than just pulling it up on your phone as, like, a screensaver or something.
And I remember I was like 11 and I got one of those like cheap Instax Polaroid cameras. Was that the best thing ever? And I still like look through all of those photos today. I still have like one of those like mini like photo albums for it. But no, like I totally agree. And it's a connection thing as well, like you said. Something you're able to pass down and share with people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I also have quite a few of those. My mom would also make like books, like Shutterfly books, just filled with like photos from like our mini adventures growing up. And we haven't made one in a while, but I mean, especially talking about all this, I've really been wanting to. But yeah, I mean, even just like the little things, like I'll print out photos every now and then for like anniversaries or like birthdays and stuff, just to give to people and write little notes on it because it's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all's families, but like back when I was younger, we would have like scrapbooks of just years. So I feel like families are kind of using physical photos a bit more because it kind of like shows like growing up over time rather than just like scrolling through your phone at photos. Also, I just think physical media holds more weight. Like we said, you own it. It's yours. It's not like up to, like online, and it can't be like stolen or anything. It's just like your own media.
Yeah, and I think this kind of loops back to creating media and like artists, especially with AI. I mean, anything that you put out there and you can just plug it in, and these applications take them and they can reuse them and repackage them and basically somewhat steal your work. So yeah, I mean, having them physically for people, I think just gives artists more power in that way. And I mean, I know like some artists even have taken like their music off of Spotify for them like supporting like AI and like a bunch of different stuff. So I think that's also a very powerful point to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joni Mitchell did that. Took all her music off of Spotify. But I also think that it's a quality thing as well. I feel like if I'm speaking in terms of video games, but if you put out a game and it's just online for online download, you can put it out with bugs and glitches and things of that nature. But with like a physical copy, it's like once it's out there, it's out there. So I think like with physical copies, you have to put a lot more time and effort and quality into it. And I think with everything being on the cloud, we've lost sort of that like nature to it, like that quality of it.
Yeah, on that video game point, I feel like if it's like online in a storage thing, like your progress can be lost. While if it's on like a DVD, it's all stored on that DVD. So like it's harder to lose that rather than something that's just online that can be deleted and lost forever. So digital media has made access easier, but it's also made ownership less certain. And that's what's driving the resurgence of physical media. That's all for us today at the Newsfeed NRV podcast. Thanks for listening, and be sure to check out more of our work on the Newsfeed.